2017 has been a blast for Style Access. Our show has highlighted everything from pairing fashion with wine to getting style tips from Beyoncé stylist Ty Hunter. It's cliche, but so true. Where does the time go? I am having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that we have successfully aired our first season. Are you ready to see our year in review? If so, Style Access starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Rosie, and I'm passionate about fashion. My experiences as a stylist, challenge face-off host, TV personality, and blogger bring us here to discuss all things fashion. Welcome to the Style Access Experience.
Sometimes want to think about wine as sort of like fashion.
Okay.
And so just like as you would look for fashion, you might also compare that to how you buy wine.
Okay.
So of course, maybe you need some sweats or, you know, just some real basic garments. And yeah, maybe you can go to the grocery store or a Target or something like that and pick up your basics.
Okay.
And if you're looking for something a little special, are you going to go and get your evening gown at Target?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Now, Andrew, with this great ensemble, what do you see me drinking with that?
Well, you know, I started out and looking at the floral aspect of the cape, and then the little sassy little curves that we've got going in the dress. I was thinking, what is sassy and floral in a wine tech context?
Yeah.
And I said, rosé.
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 Okay.
The pink stuff, but not the sweet pink stuff.
Okay.
This is not Grandma's White Zinfandel.
Oh.
We're talking about dry, traditional rosé, something that you might find in the south of France or from Spain or Italy. There's a lot of rosés made in the world.
Now, should we talk about the risky topics right away so you can know that that's a deal breaker, or should you wait?
That's a great question. And it's different for every date. So, you know, that's not a rule that you can say and follow. You know, you don't want to bring up, I mean, you know, you're not supposed to talk about religion and politics and all that stuff on a first date. That's probably a good rule of thumb to follow.
Okay.
However, if, you know, you work in politics and that's a big part of who you are, you know, we would never want you to shy away from that just because you feel like it's a taboo topic.
Okay.
But the reality is you really want to see if you can connect on the lighter topics first before you kind of get into the heavier things. Because we all have kind of, you know, some kind of skeletons in our closet. And you want to see first if you can connect on any level before bringing in, you know, the heavier topics.
Okay.
But keep it a little bit lighter, a little bit more fun. Travel, food, fashion.
Hobbies, interests.
Right, as opposed to the heavier things on that first date.
Okay. So do you have any more tips about first impressions?
Yeah, so, you know, I think it's confidence. We sort of always
huge.
say, you know, if you are your best self, you're going to attract people that are their best selves as well.
Okay.
So, you know, be confident on a first date. That's the one thing we hear from so many people that, you know, they wish more people did.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So fake it until you make it with the confidence.
Okay.
That's a huge thing.
You also want to keep that first date ideally under 2 hours because, you know, what happens when you spend too much time together, it can become a little bit awkward or too much too fast. So it's fantastic if you're having a really great date to end the date and actually schedule the second date right there so you both know that there's mutual interest without overdoing that first date.
There's nothing wrong with like leaving a little bit of mystery,
Absolutely.
you know, wanting to go out with someone, you know, that desire to want to continue talking, that's a great thing. You know, push that to a second date. And this is a look for, again, a nice dinner date at a, you know, a fun restaurant in the city. We've got the playing up of, you know, the different patterns with the fur and the lace.
Yes.
All black though, monochrome. We love all black. That's such a good idea for a date. Again, people are comfortable in it. People look their best.
And
very flattering.
It's a little bit edgy too with the choker and the booties and the opaque tights there.
Yeah.
And it's great too because again with the vest you can take it on, you know, leave it off, whatever kind of fits the mood and the temperature in the room. So it really kind of gives you a lot of versatility in an outfit for an evening.
And because we've got all black, we can play up makeup. So Holly's got a cool red lip on,
Yes.
which is fun way to show sort of your personality and style on a date. So yeah, we really love this look.
Yeah, it looks good on her skin tone, and like you said, it's very funky, and she's wearing it well.
Yep.
Love it.
Fashion is really real in DC because constantly designers are coming here, opening boutiques, being a part of
luxury
development.
retail, major designers.
Like the city centerpiece, like all of the like smaller H&Ms or Zara's opening up. I mean, it's quick fashion, but it's still fashion, and there's a need and there's a demand for it.
Right.
So all of these retailers wouldn't be setting up shop at Carolina Herrera, Mark Ross, Catherine Melladrino, Hermes.
Gucci.
These people wouldn't be coming here if there wasn't money here.
Exactly.
And they've done the research a long
Ferragamo,
time,
exactly.
for a long time to see that it makes sense opening some type of brick and mortar here because it will pay off.
Okay.
Well, the
So-
disposable income is here.
Right.
So, I mean, Washington, D.C. is the nation's capital. So at the end of the day, everyone needs to understand the world is watching us constantly. So, I mean, these labels and these brands and these fashion companies, they're going to do their research before they open up a shop somewhere. And what it does is it helps to transform these communities, and then it helps the entrepreneurs of the city to open up their boutiques and have your small boutiques that are our emerging designers and our designers here that are really helping that. So,
But now, in New York or LA, LA's whole model is behind fashion models, Hollywood, television, screen. So you got a more glamorous people who are walking out the door looking like that because of the jobs, the available jobs and the people that are there.
industry,
New
yeah.
York is the fashion industry. So most people are either in the industry or want to be in the industry, so everybody walks around looking like they're on a runway and just keeping the fashion game up. So therefore it lends itself to more style, more art, more creativity, and that kind of intersects. This is more conservative, so yes, while the colors may be a little more sedated, if you will, on some levels, it's only because of the market, but those suits are still Tom Brown, those suits are still Salvador Ferragamo, those suits are still Baroni and Armani.
Right.
Those are high-end labels. No, it may not be the peacock colors of LA or the hip, trendy prints and colors of New York, but it's still
The
of
same
current
design,
fashion.
right.
It's just tones that work better within certain environments, and that's what you see a lot of. So people will disqualify it, discount it and say, oh, well, you know, they look so boring. But meanwhile, this guy's sitting in like a $2,000 suit with Turnbull and Astor shirt and tie and cufflinks or pink, you know, quality merchandise. And so if you have an eye, you wouldn't dismiss DC's fashion so easily because you would know that you're seeing quality merchandise
shouldn't
walking
dismiss
around.
This is going to be flash fried green tomatoes.
Okay.
So we start off with a batter of flour and fine cornmeal. They are fried at 350 degrees for about 4 minutes.
Okay.
And then we top that with an aioli that has peppers from our farm in La Plata, Maryland. So we just put that on top of there.
Okay.
And then we use a sauce called Vincota, which is a fig balsamic.
Okay.
Top that as well. Has kind of a sweet taste to it. Then we use an aged Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
And then finish it with a little bit of fresh basil.
Great. So this is a traditional item for the Kentucky Derby.
Yes, it is. This
Okay.
originated in Kentucky, yes.
Okay. And a lot of people come in and order this?
Yeah, we have this on the menu. It sells very well.
Okay.
So.
All right. Can I taste?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Delicious.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
The Kentucky Derby, we'll be doing a mint julep. We have a decent amount of these at the restaurant, but I've already put mint in the julep tin, if you will, a julep cup. You'll use about 1.5 ounces of Four Roses bourbon is what we use at the tavern. And then to kind of streamline things and make it easier on us behind the bar, we actually make a mint syrup. More traditionally, it's actually confection sugar, water, and then even more mint, but we'll just use about 1 ounce of this, depending on how sweet or minty you want it, and 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce.
Okay.
We'll lightly muddle it because there is mint in there to sort of bruise the mint and have it release its flavors into the bourbon and the mint syrup.
And how long do you do that for?
Just a couple times. And then I have some pre-crushed ice that we'll put into the tin. And then we'll give it a quick stir. Crushed ice will dilute it a lot, so it'll add a lot of water to the drink, which makes it an easy sipper.
Okay.
despite being a really boozy drink, it's very light and refreshing and easy to drink because of how sweet it is. And they kind of make it more decorative. We'll mount it up so it's kind of like a snow cone, if you will, and then we'll garnish it with more mint.
I can smell it over here. The aroma
Smells
is,
great.
yes. Yes.
So if you want to try that.
So do I just
Cheers.
sip it out the? Okay. A little messy, but tasty. I'm going back for another one.
Diana is wearing an off-the-shoulder sundress with flower details. Simple yet fun. We've kept the accessories down to a minimum with this because she doesn't need it for this nice floral print. We paired this with blue sandals with the chunky heel, which is very on trend. But we know the main attraction is the hat. Cream wide brim hat with a pastel flower color scarf as the band and custom feather detail.
Not to be outdone, of course, the ladies are always super creative. This is one of my favorites because it's from one of my best friends who's getting married in May, and she gave us personalized planners, and of course I love planners. And it already had the date highlighted of the day that they're getting married, and it had and then it had like a little note on the inside about, you know, our friendship and what it meant to her. So I love that one. A few months ago, I had a bride that was really fancy, and she gave all of her bridesmaids a personalized Tiffany necklace. And I got really lucky because she gave me one too, and I was like, oh my God, how sweet is she to give me a Tiffany necklace? Like that's not normal, but I really appreciated it. And while we're talking about other gifts are the favors from the bride and groom to everyone who comes to their wedding, which is not mandatory. I want to make sure that's noted. The actual wedding is a gift, but if you want to give something else, then that's nice. I've seen couples make cookies and caramels, which they're using like their grandmother's or their mother's recipe. So it's very personal, and 2 to 3 days before their wedding, they stop what they're doing to make these items for 150 people.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. I'm always like, are you sure you can do it? And they're like, no, I really want to do it. So advice to guests, always be a good guest. It makes me so sad at the end of a wedding when I see tons and tons of favors left over, and I know you know, the energy that the couple has put into it. I brought a few examples of other favors with me today. The photo booth. Everyone loves the photo booth, right? Like whenever you go to any wedding or event, we typically go in like 4 or 5 times, and these you can put up on your refrigerator or your cube at work.
This is an edgy tulle look that's in right now. Brides are trying to avoid looking like a princess. You can still rock a tulle ball gown. Just make sure it has a bit of an edge, like this gown that has the exposed corset and the one shoulder. Try a tulle gown in a fun color like this rose color rather than a traditional ivory color. All right, Kendra, back on you.
For this beautiful young lady, we decided to leave her hair down with nice, full, bouncy, soft, romantic curls that move. We don't want the structured hair, the prom hair. We don't want the traditional bridal. Something fun to match her dress.
Okay, Tatiana.
And with makeup, it was just simply natural, just enhancing her already beautiful features that are already there, and just keeping it clean and simplistic, and nude to kind of go with the flow of the dress. And then the inspiration for that was also Christian Dior's 2017 couture looks. All simple, nude, and again, another timeless piece.
Okay, Tiffany.
Yeah, so I think she looks like the 2017 like Cinderella princess. The dress still has volume, but it doesn't look like the exact same dress Cinderella had on. Like if we redid Cinderella in 2017, I think this would be similar. Instead of doing the white, she did, you know, the off-white or the shade of cream, but still adding in a little bit of bling to probably, you know, match the ring. It's also good because a lot of times when you do tulle dresses, they're heavy at night. This one, it isn't that heavy and it isn't too much volume, so she can definitely pick it up and have fun at night with her friends without it causing too much mayhem. So I think this is right on trend.
Now, what about regulations and licensing and all that fun stuff? Was it a challenge? Did you have anybody coaching you through? Courtney, let's start with you.
So I'm a member of several like fashion truck owner groups, and everybody's been very supportive. So people post a lot of questions like, how do you do this? How do you do that? So I had that guidance, but I did have to get, the licensing, the permits for where I want to park the truck at. But I try to team up with events because then they don't require any additional licensing or permit when you're under an event. You kind of fall under their umbrella. So.
So if you want to do like park on the street,
that's where you need exactly.
Okay. So is it like regulated by hours or?
I feel like it kind of goes by the city you're in or the county you're in. You really have to kind of go by their parking rules.
Part of the challenge is because each city and each county is totally different. Yeah. Oh, wow. Some are cheap, some want you there, some don't.
So learn as you go, kind of.
Yeah. So like you, I also do mainly just events where I don't have to buy the permit to be there. I'm working underneath someone else's system, so that's a lot easier for sure.
Now, what about storage? How do you store the mobile when it's not in use for, winter, because we get all 4 seasons here in this area. So how do you store the mobile? Do you find somewhere to do it, to place it for the winter? How does that work out? Richard?
Mine's parked at like a storage unit.
Okay.
An outside storage unit.
Okay.
I actually have mine parked on military base. I just pay a really nominal fee to park it there every month.
Cool.
Yeah, I keep it in like a secure, I guess it's kind of like a storage facility, but only during the season in which I'm using it, which would be, like April through November. And then otherwise I keep it kind of out west. That's someone's property where I don't pay anything. So yeah, that's my way of kind of cutting down costs.
Can you give me their number?
Yeah, sure.
This is networking.
Right.
One of the key aspects of that is your luggage. Says a lot about you.
It does.
Says a lot about you. And I actually change up my luggage depending on what I'm doing. For when I'm doing my business travel and that sort of thing, I like my basic black. This one is one of my favorites. It's the kind of luggage that you see a lot of the airline attendants using.
Okay.
The nice part about carry-on luggage right now is it's gotten a lot lighter.
Oh, okay.
Feel that. Just look at that.
It is. Right.
So, and see, that's the other thing too. So if you are guilty of overpacking a little bit, at least if your bag's light, you're going to have less of a chance of going over the weight limit.
Ladies are not going to want to do heels at the airport. Well, listen, you got to stay fly.
Yeah.
No, you never know what we might see.
Yeah, and I love the pop of color that you gave with the purse as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Next, who we have?
So next, I'm sorry, we have Yulissa. And just imagine Naomi Campbell walking through Dulles.
I got it. I have the visual.
So we have, although it's June, it gets a little warm outside. Again, fashionistas, fashion doesn't have a season. So we have the trench coat here paired with a nice flowy skirt. And we have a clear shoe, nice embroidered sweatshirt, because embroidery and embellishment is so big too. Another big trend. So she has that going right now, and of course the nice travel bag that LV is hitting.
It is.
It's key.
And then to see the extra detail that is in the back of her coat. You see the buttons that
Yes,
were going
yes,
down
the
there?
button.
Oh
So
my God.
you get a little hat, a little ventilation. Back of the
There
hat.
you go.
And do you think that the perception has changed as far as African attire? Before people used to think that it was just traditional wear, but now you see it as trendy. You have the off the shoulders, kosher, every trend is there. Do you think that the perception has actually changed? I'm gonna go back to you, Nika.
Sure it has. Like what you're wearing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
For me as a designer, I could make anything with African prints. Anything. Yeah, that's what I want.
Right.
I don't want to be restricted. I want African print to be everywhere. It could be done with for everything. So it can do everything as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. So the perception has changed. What about you, Chikama?
Oh yes, it has changed a whole lot. Because I've seen cases where they've used African prints and like what you're wearing, cut out all that flowers out, and make it into a nice 3D looking ball gown. Gives it that like English strap, like English and ready to wear outfit. Something you can buy from like Nostrums or Saks, So it has really, really gone skyride when it comes to, African prints.
Okay.
And final words, Ellen?
The final words from me are just that I think the colors in the African textiles and we're using Africa, but there's East, there's West, there's South, there's North Africa, all different textiles. They work with all different other countries too, and I love to combine all of them and have a message saying, you know, we're all people, and let's just enjoy this, have fun with it, and love the color combination. So, yeah, I think there's a great amount of potential in all things, traditional and moving forward. Made up of different textiles from different parts of Africa, lined in flowers, and over a pair of pin-tucked linen pants and a shirt which talks about maybe us all treating each other a little bit better in the world.
Now, when I was doing my research, a pet peeve of some of the people on the internet said that, you know, if you are smoking a cigar and you're cutting it, you should not lick it before you use the shared cutter. So, I would like to hear from both of you guys on some of the etiquette that you need to have when you come to a lounge. So we could start with you, Paul.
What you mentioned is very health conscious, of course, as well as just visually it's not a good thing. I guess back in the old days when the humidors weren't as effective, your cigars dried out, people would lick a cigar and moisten it again. That is no longer required or necessary or needed. And so when you have a cutter, that is your personal tool.
Okay.
All right. And if you loan someone your cutter, don't lick your cigar. You're transporting germs and so forth. But yes, it's very bad etiquette. We share cutters, lighters all the time. So we find that if we have someone that has licked their cigar and you may be in midstream of handing them your cutter, this will often happen.
Okay.
And then someone will find a community or a spare cutter that is not quite your personal cutter.
Got it. Yes.
So and there are other etiquette things like when to ash your cigar. So people ask all the time, you know, how long should I let the ash grow on my cigar? And really, you have to look around and see where you are. If you're sitting outside on someone's deck and you're in an environment where if an ash falls down, then it's fine. Now, if you're inside your personal home or someone's home or a cigar lounge, you always want to make sure that you ash before your ash falls. You don't want the ash to fall on you, someone else, someone's furniture, or their property.
Okay.
So it's always good to keep an eye on your ash. People say, but I want my ash to grow. I want to take that cool picture and post it on Instagram. That's fine if you're sitting outside or somewhere where in your own environment where you don't mind if it falls.
Okay.
But in a public place, it's always best to just monitor your ash and make sure it doesn't fall on someone.
Okay. Now, Eric, would you like to add to that list?
Absolutely. Well, being a cigar steward, one of the functions and duties is to teach the etiquette of cigar smoking. And one of the bigger issues that individuals have is, where do I exhaust my smoke? Now, if there's a table setting and there are 4 people or just 2, the area in front of you is your speaking area.
Okay.
So to draw on your cigar and to exhaust the smoke, you want to blow up and away or away to the side, because you always want to keep that area clear so you can have a conversation. So we find a lot of times we'll go by and speak with guests and see how they're doing, and they're just kind of blowing back at each other, and I'm going, this is not going to end well. So we kind of go over and have a little conversation and say, hey, it's better if you blow up a little or wave. That way it keeps the area going. And the other thing is actually when someone is done with a cigar, please do not crush it in the ashtray. You're just continue to let the ash and the fire burn into the cigar and it becomes just a smoky mess. If you're done, either set it in the resting place on the ashtray or in the ashing bowl and allow it to go out on its own.
And next up we have Barnett, and Barnett's really working that modern suit style we've been talking about. He's wearing a wine-colored plaid suit paired with a striped button down and then those polished buckle shoes. Really gives us that head-to-toe style.
Absolutely, and I like the way that you played with the patterns, with the plaid and then the shirt.
It's all about intermixing those prints.
I can go pull you the hottest pieces, but at the same time, if I didn't take time out to learn what your insecurities were and what you feel comfortable in, I can have a rack of nothing. So I think it's if you take the time out to find out what people's insecurities are, and the main goal is to get you to a place where you don't use love. You might not like your knees, but I'll get you to a place where, you know what, if I put on makeup and the picture turned out right, so now I like my knees. You know, my goal is to make you love yourself. That's if you take the time out and what people insecurities are.
I try to take time for myself. I told myself that August I'm not doing anything. And I'm just going to stay in my home. I won't be on a plane. You do have to take those moments to refresh. And sometimes it is hard for your friends and family to understand. Like I have this one friend, literally, as soon as I get back to New York, she wants to hang out. And, I need a day just to myself. So I think, going hard when necessary, taking time for yourself, but also putting an end date on things. There's a date by which I don't want to have to go as hard, and I want to hire people who are going to help me run this company. So, boundaries, creating boundaries.
With designing the table that everyone will be sitting at. So here I have a whole bunch of items that you can get at any craft store or any discount store, anything like that.
So you don't have to spend a lot of money.
You don't have to spend a lot of money.
Okay.
No, I didn't pull out my wedding stuff for this. This is all stuff that anyone can get.
Okay.
So first we have a bunch of charger plates, which are themed, which you can get a lot of them since it's the holiday season now. Sometimes you can even get them on a discount. Have lots and lots of pumpkins. Which scream holidays.
So accent pieces.
Lots of accent pieces. We have them all through the center as well as at each place setting. And also each of the place settings are personalized. So we put, little place cards at each setting so that everybody knows that they have a place at the table. So when you get in, you're like, wow, I have my own seat. We also have themed glasses for everybody. This one says thankful. We have some that say cheers. And we have lots of candles because that makes everything feel homey.
Wearing a crop top, which is sequin, with a sequin bow. And I call these pants skants. And that's because they're slacks, but they also have the skirt feel to it in the front. And that's really big this season as well. And she's wearing a faux fur stole.
Okay, I love that. Like the crop tops are really in this season.
The crop tops are in. You can wear them summer, winter, spring, fall. They're very universal. And this trend has been going on for I don't know, for just a long time. And this year it's really been popular and coming back from back in the 80s.
Now what about the bow tie detail? Is that something you added or did the shirt come with that?
No, the shirt didn't come with the bow tie. I added that as an extra touch to give it a little bit more texture to it.
Well, that sums it up. 2017 blew us away and 2018 will be even better. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am beyond grateful to have a show like Style Access where we can share all things fashion. Using hashtag Style Access Best of 2017, share with us your favorite episode and we will upload on our social media pages. As always, be sure to stay connected with us on Instagram and YouTube at Style Access Show. Have a happy and productive new year.